Returning to our top story, for the first time in 4 decades, dangerously cold conditions forcing organisers to move Donald Trump's upcoming inauguration indoors. Well, joining us live is former Republican Congressman Zach Wamp in the US. Thank you so much for joining us, Zach. Well, yes, the forecast is for minus 13 degrees Celsius, which is 8.6 degrees Fahrenheit. We've got to factor in that wind chill as well. So sounds like a good idea, would you say, that it's going to be indoors?
Well, and then we won't have to argue how big the crowd was outside because there's an excuse for it. And it also probably helps the Secret Service in terms of security. But it is going to be bitter cold. But there is actually a whole lot of enthusiasm in this country around this inauguration.
Well, I bet there is, and certainly it's going to be a big week ahead and a big 4 years, as you well know. Donald Trump 2.0, how do you see him performing? We've got issues of immigration, we've got so many things. You tell us more.
So first of all, it's a surprise to the average person how well his nominees for these cabinet positions are moving through the process. I would say all of them at this point look like they will be confirmed. Some of them very easy, like Marco Rubio. I think Kennedy is probably the one right now that has the least likelihood of being confirmed, but that shows kind of the gravity of Trump's agenda and the energy that he brings to all of what he campaigned on. The people did elect him. In a sense, it was a little bit of a mandate, but it was more of a rejection of the other side. And so now he's got to tackle these big issues. There are going to be a lot of executive orders on Monday, his first day on the job. Some of them are going to trigger the immigration issue, put it into action. A lot of governors, especially of the red states, are organizing their National Guards to help him with immigration. It'll be easy, I think, to start deporting 3 or 4 million people. If he gets into the workplace and disrupts where people are working, it could get really ugly. So that's going to be, I think, maybe the diciest issue that he addresses, but there's a big agenda. I mean, he's even looking at natural resources and other countries like Greenland, talking about the Panama Canal, trying to keep the rest of the world at bay. But let's look at this objectively, Janie. China and Iran and Russia are sort of down, and the U.S. and Australia are sort of up. So there is a real shift right now in the world, and it'll be real interesting to see what kind of Donald Trump 2.0, as you call it, will actually do to accelerate the free world. It's not going to be easy, but frankly, I think the American people are now ready for it.
And what can you tell us, Zach, about the big tech guys really wanting to move into positions of power in government? Also, artificial intelligence is huge, energy, there's so much in just those spaces.
You said that well. You know, President Biden in his farewell address 2 days ago, he sort of took a shot at the Elon Musks of the world and kind of the tech industrialists in this country because he thinks they're like taking over our government. But if you look at the history of our country, you know, the industrialists back in the late 1800s during the Industrial Revolution had a tremendous amount of influence on the country. That's no different than today. You know, when you look at AI and algorithms and data centers and a U.S.-driven industry on information technology, this is like an industrial revolution. So it shouldn't surprise anyone that these people have a lot of influence. It is a little dangerous that they're this involved in the government, but our government has not been as efficient as our private sector. So what you're seeing is a genuine effort to try to make the government more efficient. DOGE and these other initiatives are going to try to create a better federal government. I hope they address the debt issue because I think that's sort of the long-term albatross around our necks, and it led to inflation. But it really shouldn't surprise anyone. I do think we got to be careful that they don't have too much influence, but our free enterprise system has always had quite a bit of influence because that's what drives entrepreneurship, innovation, and leads the world.
All right, we've got about 10 seconds to go, but you probably have heard many people talking about Donald Trump to take him seriously, but not literally. We've got the peace agreement with Gaza and Israel underway, and certainly some people are saying it was mainly due to Donald Trump. Joe Biden saying that was a joke. What is your opinion?
Well, this happened when Ronald Reagan took office in 1980. It's kind of happening again. Donald Trump made sure the world knows he wants peace not only in the Middle East, He wants a peace agreement between Russia and Ukraine. Hopefully he can bring this about because it shows U.S. leadership, and the free world has to take leadership in the world. We can't ignore it. I wish him the best because I hope we can reach a long-term peace agreement in both places.
Zach Wamp, always a pleasure. Thank you so much.